Welcome to season 3 of You Are Significant, the podcast where real stories are told by real people that create more awareness of your own significance. You are created on purpose for a purpose with seeds of greatness inside of you. Ready to grow? Let's get down to it. Hey, friends, I want to talk today about return on failure, how to get a return on failure. This is the newest book by John Maxwell, and I am really enjoying reading it. I've read the first 4 chapters so far, but it's got me thinking about this concept. And I think it is so applicable as we look at living our life of significance, living into our significance. You know, one of the things as I started this podcast, and we're in our 3rd season, so 2 years ago when I started the podcast and was looking at what to name it, I thought about naming it You Matter. I liked how simple that was. But then when I looked, there's other podcasts named You Matter already. So I kept thinking and kept brainstorming and came up with You Are Significant, which I really love. I love the name of this podcast. And I feel like it was from God. It's not me. It was his idea. And I'm just so thankful. And I think that you matter and the essentiality of failure goes together. Our significance and how significant we become, failure is necessary to achieve greater significance, to live into our purpose, to matter in this society, to matter to God, to live into what he has called us to do. And Jesus was the only one who was perfect. All of us fall short. All of us make mistakes. All of us have to learn. And one of the things that failure and failing forward, which is another book John Maxwell wrote, makes me think about is the idea that we make mistakes to learn when we learn to tie our shoes. So learning to tie your shoes is kind of an advanced concept, right? Because you've got to be physically coordinated. Your brain has to sort out the steps. It also has to be able to see the strings and what there's a lot going on there in the process of tying the shoe. And I can remember being a kid and watching someone do it and trying to understand what they were doing. And I am left-handed, so I'm sure that my brain works differently than a lot of people's because I'm left-handed. I'm very creative, and so sometimes the logical things, patterns, step by step by step, I love step by step to achieve something, but sometimes the steps can be overwhelming, especially if it's written down. I'm not dyslexic, but my granddaddy was, and my son is. And sometimes I think I'm not dyslexic, but still, when I see directions written down step by step, I do better if I go over them audibly with someone. I'm a verbal processor. I'm not a visual processor. And so I do learn by doing things kinesthetically. So as we look at the reasons why we fail, it helps us to look at the reasons why we succeed and the ways in which we succeed easier, faster, better. As you get into this book, it's a short book. There's only 9 chapters and really mainly 8. And that 9th chapter is The Future Favors the Bold. It's a 4-minute chapter in Audible if you listen to the book in Audible. And already talked about failure as an investment in your future. Keep success and failure together. Chapter 3, get over failure, get over yourself. And chapter 4, use failure to make yourself better. You're invited to jump in the book club. I'm doing it on Wednesdays at 9:30 Central, and it is open. So these chapters stand alone, and if you hop in and even listen to the book club recordings, you would, I think, be blessed. So I want to gift you that, and all you have to do is reach out to me, the Darlene Lee, in Facebook Messenger or Instagram direct message, and I'll be glad to share those recordings with you. So we have been talking about this idea of failure and how it is unavoidable. We have to fail. There's really only two choices. We're going to fail. So we're either going to be failing towards success, or we're going to quit and quit on ourselves, quit on our project, quit on our goal, and we're still going to be failing, but we're just going to be having a pity party and making no progress at all. So which one is better? I mean, obviously it's better to fail our way towards success and be making mistakes, just like that child who does eventually learn how to tie their shoe. And at first, they're making the loops, and there's more than one method. I've seen people make the two loops, cross them over, and put the one under the other and pull it through. That concept of learning how to tie our shoes is a failing forward experience. Even me getting the wrong size shoe to keep my exercise going, because right now I either walk outside or on my elliptical, and this week I tried a new workout class. And so as we look at the three pillars of life, health, body health is one, relationships is another, and the third one is money, career. And as we look at those three pillars of life, we are going to fail and be getting a return on our failure if we are learning from it. If we aren't taking ourselves too seriously, which is really what chapter 3 was about today. We often get impeded in the process of advancing toward our success because we're so busy wanting to not look like a fool or look silly. Our ego brain wants to know it all, and we can't know it all. Oftentimes, the only way to know what the dots are to get from right here where I am to over here where my vision is and where I want to be is to get started doing it wrong. And really, the faster we can fail, the faster we're going to learn the right way to do it, and we're going to master it, and we're going to get to where we want to go. It makes me think about a baby learning to walk, right? When a baby learns to walk, there's a lot going on there. It isn't even just falling down and getting up. Their muscles have to get stronger. Their muscles and their nervous system, their brain is learning how to coordinate, right? Coordination is growing and getting better and better every day. And even while that baby sleeps, his or her brain is processing what happened while the baby was awake to put that together and get better the next time. And so our brains do the same thing. If you're failing and you're failing forward and you're getting a return on your failure, one way to get a return is to rest, is to sleep, is to even still do something fun. Sometimes when we're so frustrated, working hard to fail faster, we don't want to take any breaks. We want to just do and do and do. But your brain needs that time of rest or relaxation to be able to process what it learned from the failures. So a baby is doing that when that baby sleeps while he or she is learning how to walk. And, sometimes the baby's foot is turned in, or, the balance is off because maybe structurally they need like a chiropractic adjustment. But sometimes it's just muscular. Their muscles need to develop more. And so as they keep trying and they keep doing the thing, they get better and better and better and better. And you notice a healthy baby does not give up. Like that baby is pulling up on every knob and piece of furniture, and anything that it can get close enough to, it's pulling up, and then it starts cruising, holding on one side step at a time. It's getting stronger. That baby's core muscles in the abdomen area are getting stronger, creating more balance. And so in our life, it doesn't just happen when we're learning to walk. It also happens as we're learning how to do our ABCs and learning how to those sounds they make and putting that together in phonetics to learn how to read. We continue to fail and learn and get a return on our failure as we move forward in our life. And so one of the things that the book talks about is keeping success and failure close together. And what that makes me think about is the idea of not putting big gaps so you forget what you learned. Keeping success and failure close together, a benefit of that is you remember what you learned. You're all like, take the baby learning how to walk. If the baby was kept from walking, if you put them in like a bouncer seat and you didn't let them get down, they're probably going to cry because they're mad. Babies are driven and they want to learn and they want to do new things. But if a baby has not been allowed to do that, I've seen babies who their muscles had not developed because they were left, they were in a situation they weren't allowed to crawl. And so whether the person carried them around a lot or they were left in the baby bed a lot, I know some babies would just get up in the baby bed and still learn. But some babies have, not been blessed with exactly the right circumstances. And so their muscles get weak. Their muscles aren't developed. But if a baby was allowed to crawl and then the next day not, that baby would regress because the muscles would get weaker because that baby is not keeping success and failure close together. So the book talks about how success is the hero of our lives and failure is the villain. We don't want to fail. Like naturally we want to avoid it. It's just in our nature to not want to go through the pain of failure, the embarrassment, the humiliation. But we have to change our thinking about success versus failure. Instead, we should be thinking of success and failure. So when we bring them closer together, that's going to help us to succeed faster. So this is like an encouraging book. I just encourage you to get a copy and read it. It isn't super long. Again, 9 chapters. They're all about 30 minutes each. Except for chapter 9. So it's really about 8 chapters long. And I do think this is a little bit different from Failing Forward. It's really more focusing on what we learn from the failure so that we can get a return on our failure. But I do think if you loved Failing Forward by John Maxwell, you're going to love this book too. So, one thing I love about reading books, and I was sharing this in my story today in Facebook and Instagram, is when you're in the book, it's like a reticular activator on your life. It helps your brain to focus on that thing. So we read The Slight Edge before How to Get a Return on Failure. And that whole time we were reading The Slight Edge, my brain just kept thinking, I can do a little bit more. I can do a little bit more. And also, it started to think about the reasons why it was important to do just a little bit more. And we know in life, in business, in family, consistency wins. So when you're growing an organization, even growing this podcast, if you're growing your family relationships, that consistency of getting together, of celebrating things, of having maybe one night a week that you get together and have a family dinner, or if your children are little and at home and having family dinner time at the table every night so that your children have a place they know they're going to get your attention. I say put the phones away, no phones at the table, so they know your undivided attention is going to be there for them. They can tell you about what happened at school. They can tell you about what they're reading. They can tell you about what they're thinking about. They can ask questions. That was something that we protected in our family when we were raising the girls. There's a lot of things we didn't do, and I'm not passing judgment on other families, but we prioritize family dinner time. And I'm so glad we did. I feel like that family dinner time and making it a priority is part of why we've made it through hard things in the adult years with our kids. And so I just want to encourage you to read, because even if you don't read the whole book, just like for us reading The Slight Edge, it just made us think about not only can I do a little bit more, but the reasons that doing more or doing that thing a little more is important. Um, and the same thing with how to get a return on failure. This has me thinking about how failure is part of success and not worrying so much about perfectionism and doing things perfectly. Yes, do my best. I had a mentor one time that was like all about excellence, doing things with excellence. And like you could just hear it in the way she said it. It was about perfectionism, and it really hindered getting more done and continuing to do something, because eventually you're just not good enough. Eventually you burn out if you have too much of a focus on excellence all the time. It's better to do your best and your best is good enough continually, because you will get better. There will be excellence. There will also be times that are not quite as excellent but still beneficial. And your version of excellence may bless this person, whereas your ho hum may be exactly what this person needed, and they would call that excellence. So, excellence can be subjective, right? And so sometimes we just get fixated in our mind on one certain thing, and then that actually is more damaging or harm than good. So I just encourage you to fail and make failure a part of your success and a part of being significant. You are significant, and when you fail, you are actually being more significant. When people see us fail, they're inspired, right? Being vulnerable and letting our vulnerability show, letting people see you how you really are. Y'all know, if you follow me in Facebook and Instagram, which I hope you do, and I invite you to follow me there, you'll see me in a t-shirt with no makeup. You'll see me fixed up with makeup. You're going to see real life as you follow me. Why? Because that way I can be consistent. I want to be there for you. I would rather show up and share the thought or share something about my day and build that relationship with you through social media and be there and not be perfect than to show up very infrequently, hide, and you only see me with my makeup on, my hair done, and I only share occasionally. We're going to grow apart. I'm not going to accomplish my mission to be a blessing and to help you with your health, your fitness, your mindset, your transformation, which is made up of all those things. your relationship with God, your relationship with yourself. All of this comes together to create the best version of you, to help you to be your most significant self. And failure has to be part of that. Some people prefer no makeup and, the plain look. And to them, that is success. I was successful to them showing up that way. Others are like, oh, nobody would ever see me without my makeup. I put it on first thing. And so they're like, why is she showing up without makeup on? I wish she had her makeup on. But because I'm serving a variety of people who value different things, then I have to show up as me. And as long as I'm showing up as me and you're showing up as you, you are actually failing your way to success. You are getting a return on your failure, if you will. I think the word failure is subjective. Can you see that here? So, what is failure to one person is success to another. So, friend, keep failing forward. Keep living into your significance, because as you do, you will get a return on your failure. And that is going to lead to success and the most significant version of you. I love you, friend. Thank you for listening. And I can't wait till next time. Thank you for tuning in to You Are Significant. I hope that this episode helped you to embrace your own God-given purpose. Please share this out with a friend and remember to subscribe. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, walk in faith, find the joy, and stand in your own significance.